So there are going to be some times in your walk with Jesus Christ when what God is allowing you to go through is going to be very, very unfair. It's going to feel bad. It's going to feel rough. It is going to feel like suffering. I come to tell you that. And we know this because in the Bible, when we read about certain people, they had a lot of suffering. Let's talk about Joseph. Let's talk about Joseph, who was the favorite child of Jacob. He was his father's favorite child. Thus, what happens when your parents have a favorite child, there's some sibling rivalry. And so, the siblings, they start hating on you because and mom and daddy like you so much. They like you better than me and da da da. Jacob doesn't help because he's around here making him a coat of many colors and parading his love for him. It's a bad deal. I don't think it was intentional, but you feel how you feel. Intentions are not right. Right. Stay with me. So Joseph has the gift of anointing where he is a dreamer. Oh, he can foretell his dreams. So with this gift that he is given, he has told his brothers a dream that he's going to rule over them. I don't know why he told them that. That was probably not the wisest thing. So that added to the fuel. That added to the sibling rivalry. Long story short, paraphrasing it, they sell their brother into slavery. They sell him into slavery. They sold him for 20 silver pieces. Foreshadowing, remind you of Jesus Christ, who was sold for 30 pieces of silver by Judas. But anyway, let's go back. They lie to their daddy, Jacob, and say, hey, we found this coat. There's some blood on it. He must got eaten by an animal. And they sell him away. But the beautiful thing is, and I want this to go to reach somebody, even when something terrible is happening, you can still see God's hand in it all because it's all going to work out for your good. And God has never taken his hand off you, even in your suffering. Because when Joseph is pulled in the pit and he is sold, he ends up being in the house of a man named Potiphar. And when he's in the house of Potiphar, things are going pretty good now. Even in slavery. And that goes to show you something else. If you look at it, if you turn to Genesis 39, it says that verse 2, the Lord was with Joseph and he was a prosperous man in the house of his master, the Egyptian. Now, that goes to show us that what the world calls prosperous, God doesn't. This man is a slave and things are going pretty good. But how many of us would say, yeah, I'm doing well and prosperous as a slave? But it said that God had him prosperous. So things are going good, prosperous. Potiphar is really, really liking Joseph. Everything is fine. It says that Joseph found grace in the eyes of Potiphar and served him, and he was trusted by his master. Well, here we go. You've already been sold away by your brothers. That was bad. Now things are looking up a little bit. You got some favor in your master's house. And then Joseph was real good looking. Oh, he was a fine young brother. He was so fine that Potiphar's wife couldn't keep her hands to herself. And she said, hey, I'm going to have you. Well, Joseph being the wonderful, righteous man of God that he is. And this goes to show you what kind of discipline and integrity that he had, because there's a lot of men right now, even who are Christians, who would, and I'm sure she was beautiful, Egyptian and glowing and smelling good and all the things, I'm sure she was quite irresistible. But Joseph said, I can't do that to God. I can't do that to God, and I can't do that to Potiphar. That should be a lesson in where we should gauge our discipline, that I can't do that to God. Well, she lies. You know how women, been doing since the beginning of time, crying rape. I didn't get what I want. I'm going to be vengeful. She said Joseph raped her, which was a lie. Joseph gets put in prison for something he didn't do. He basically gets put in prison for doing the right thing. I'm sure that Joseph probably thought, man, I should have just knocked her down. Sorry. Anyway, he does the right thing and he goes to prison. And you would think that the God that he serves is looking at this injustice and comes to save him. I know they were saying, I know my God gonna come save me from this. I didn't do it. I did the right thing. I honor God. He'll honor me. But if you keep reading, Joseph is in prison. And when he's in prison, he is still using his gifts. He can still dream. He's still the dreamer. So there was a baker and a butler. He's foretelling, he's interpreting their dreams. And when I wanted to say it was the butler gets out, Joseph tells him, hey, tell Pharaoh about me. Basically, he's crying for help. Hey, I need help. It's injustice. It's injustice. Tell Pharaoh about me. He wants to get out of prison, right? So we would think that God is going to answer the prayer. Joseph is going to get out. But if you look at Genesis chapter 41 and verse 1, it says, and it came to pass at the end of 2 years. Joseph had to sit in that prison probably over 2 years. You know what I mean? Because oh boy forgot about him. Now, can you imagine? I'm in here and that's for anyone. You ever have some hope for something? You have some hope and you say it'll turn out this way and it still don't turn out for you. I can't imagine what Joseph was going through. I'm already in here for something I didn't do. Then there's a glimmer of hope. I say, hey, tell Pharaoh about me. So you have this hope you're going to get out and you're still in there 2 years. It said the chief butler remembered not Joseph, but forgot him. And that just should also goes to show how people do. People forget the good that you do. People forget when you were there for them. You know, when he was in there tripping on those dreams and needing an interpreter, Joseph was right there. But people forget real quick. He got out of jail, got a little freedom, and he forgot about Joseph. And Joseph sat there 2 years. But see, God never took his hand off Joseph. Listen, whatever you're going through does not mean God has taken his hand off you. That means God has a plan. And unfortunately, that preparation time we talk about it all the time because it's so pivotal in our lives. That preparation time that was needed, it was for many, it's a shepherd. For David, he had to be a shepherd. For Moses, he had to be a shepherd. Joseph had to do a little time. This is for all my incarcerated men out there, for everyone who has, done a spell of incarceration or you are not forgotten about just because you were locked up. So and I don't want to just spoil it. I want you to read it for yourself. In the end of the story, Joseph is made ruler. Joseph is made ruler over Egypt because later on that the Pharaoh, after the butler forgot about him, he remembered. See, God's timing is everything. God is the one that says now. That's not that God forgot about you. That's God saying, okay, the time is now. We've worked on the things that I'm going to need to get you in line with that position. A lot of those character traits, maybe Joseph had a little brag in him. Maybe he was a little bit of a boaster. Maybe he had to work out some humility. Maybe he had to work out dependence on God. And maybe he had to work out patience, whatever it was, maybe all of the above. God said the time is now. He ended up being the ruler over Egypt. And those same brothers that tossed him in the pit, he forgave them. And they also had to come and see about Joseph to get saved from a famine. It's a beautiful story, but the story is also realistically heartbreaking because you see this man that's favored by God and you see him have to go through all these trials and triumphs. So I want this to be encouragement to someone to say, just because we are going through this, that, and the third, or some of us are going through some real terrible things, that God is not finished. You are in the middle of the story, maybe the beginning, but it will all work out if you continue to believe in God's timing. And I'm not fixing to lie to you and tell you that God's timing is convenient because his timing is perfect. Ours is not. I don't believe that there are clocks in heaven. So we're looking at physical time. God is looking at the perfect time, the appointed time. And in the story, yes, Joseph triumphs, but God had never taken his hand off him. God has not taken his hand off of you. Please continue to trust and believe that you will overcome. Please continue to trust and believe that there is a plan. Please continue. Joseph probably never thought that he would be blessed with the authority and the rulership and everything else that was placed upon him. He never thought he was going to see his father again. He never thought that his brothers would have to come and beg for, food to eat at a famine. And then also the brothers' hearts changed as well. So the story all worked out. God is always behind the scenes. I hope that uplifts someone. And go read Genesis. I want to say probably from chapter 38 through probably 50. Read those and learn about Joseph and meditate on the story for yourself.